Alright guys, so picking back up off of where we left off, we need to set the bow up to enter that pose when we're aiming. So we need it to blend into that pose whenever we're aiming. So if you want things to be synchronized for one, you need to make sure that whatever blend rate is set up on the linked anim layers between those poses is going to be the same for your weapon. In this case, it's the bow. So whenever I blend into that pose, say, let's actually, I guess, go and look. So this is my linked anim layer. If I open this up, it looks like the blend duration is 0.2. Let's see, is this consistent though? Yeah, it's 0.2 between these two. So that's important to note. So mostly going from the ready state to the aiming and then back, it needs to be consistent going to and from, which it is, 0.2 for each. So we're going to want our blend duration to be 0.2 for our bow's animation blueprint. So I just added something, and this will be in the next update, and this is basically what it's going to do. There's an on-rep notify for this event now. So what I have it doing is whenever the client triggers the aim action, it updates the server, or it sends that to the server, which then multicast, well, not multicast, the server updates all the clients because this is replicated. So I just switched this over to rep notify so that I could have all the clients also fire this, including the server, and so whenever this gets updated, it'll pass that on to the items if the items exist. So if the item is not valid, this will have no effect. So what we need to do is over here, you'll see under animation for the guns. This is actually, I'm going to take you, this is actually on the blueprint interface for the guns. That's where I put this at. I named the category animation, but I might rename that later. I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it'll probably be fine like it is. So on the event graph, I'm just going to implement this event. And then I'm going to promote this. You'll have to excuse the people outside. They're being pretty loud today for some weird reason. So yeah, I'm just going to save this right here, actually. Actually, maybe I won't save this variable at all. What I'll do is we'll just come over here to this, and I'll actually copy that name, because over here I'm going to create an animation blueprint, and I'm just going to, okay, it's the skeleton, right? Okay, you have to search for the skeleton's name. So I'm going to call that ABP bow. I'm going to assign that here. And then what I'll do is I'll get the animation instance here. And I'm just going to pass this directly to it. This right here. So I'll just update this directly. Now the blueprints get updated before the animation blueprint for obvious reasons. And that's because the skeletal mesh is a member of that blueprint. So this blueprint it gets executed on the game thread, and then it sends the request over to the worker thread for it to execute the animation blueprint for said skeletal meshes within it. So anyway, I'm going to cast to ABP bow, and it's fine because this is, you know, it's we're never going to be swapping out that skeletal meshes animation blueprint. And this should never fail. And so we'll have this. And then over, let me just, yeah, okay, I already had it open, but yeah. And then I'll do a blend by bool. And I'll add a default slot because we will be playing animations on this. And we do want the montages to be played over the top of everything, which is why it's the last thing that I'm connecting. We can actually bind this directly here to is aiming. And we want this to be 0.2 because that's the blend time we have on the character between poses. And then this will just be, I'll just make that the input pose, which is basically just the default pose, but it prevents it from showing any weird messages or warnings here. That's the only thing it does, really. But yeah, anyway, that's basically it. And so whenever I come in here now and I pick up the bow, and again, I'll look into that before I finish this series. I'll look into that. And so yeah, now you'll see. Now you'll see we have it synchronized, and because it blends at the same speed, and they both change at the same time, you'll see his hand pretty much stays on it the entire time it's blending in and out, which is pretty cool. So now, yeah, so I guess this one was really just going to be about that. Yeah, I think I'll just keep this one simple. It'll just have been covering that. That way you guys understand this, and I'm not going to overcomplicate it. And then we'll do we're going to do the animations now. The firing and the reload animations, I'm going to do a video on those. And we're going to have to create those animations for both the character and the bow simultaneously at the same time. That's what I'm going to do. And I'll show you how to do that. Only one of them will be able to be bound. Because, well, I don't know, maybe not. I might be able to bind them both from the same thing, which would be kind of weird, but I think it'll work. Yeah, I think that'll work. So we should be able to bind it. That way, when we make changes to it, it'll update both of the animations, both for the bow and the character at the same time. This should work. So yeah, I'll do that in the next video.